Hi everyone, so in this video we are going to talk about one of the most important thing when you're applying for a job or when you're applying for an internship, that is your resume. So we'll talk each and everything about resume, what are some of the points that you should include in your resume, what is something that you should not include in your resume, and how you can get your resume shortlisted for various jobs and various companies that you're looking forward to. So we'll start with a simple example. Basically, your resume is that selling point that will help you gain a particular internship or a particular job opportunity at that company. So how you need to sell yourself, that is the main point, right? Let me give you a common example. Like, we go to a supermarket to buy apples, right? There are two kinds of apples. Like there are the apples, one kind of apples look very shiny and glossy, and the other kind of apples, they are like a bit dull, and they have different price tags. For example, the apples which are shiny and glossy, they have, let's take it to be 200 per kg, and the normal apples are rupees 80 per kg. So what makes you buy the apples which are looking good and even at a higher price? So that is their look, the first look that matters the most. So same is the case with the resume. Whenever a recruiter is looking forward to hire you, looking forward to see your candidature, so the first thing that he looks at is your resume. So this resume is something that will give an overview of what you have done in 4 years of your college, and it is the major selling point. So something that we need to include in this resume is that will make us stand out from the crowd. For example, recruiter has around 5,000 resumes and he need to shortlist just 100 resumes. So what is the major thing that will make you stand out from those 5,000 resumes? So each and everything we'll be discussing about resume, what are some of the important things about resume, how you should make your resume, and I'll also give some of the resume templates in the description below so that you can go and check out the details and you can frame your resume better, and that can be shortlisted by companies. So we'll discuss about each and everything in this video. Let's talk about what is a resume and what is the significance of a resume when you're applying for a job on campus, off campus, or basically we'll be talking about software engineering roles and how you can curate your resume for those software engineering roles. So resume is that one page of everything that sums up your entire 4 years of college, like 3 years of college if you're applying for internships. So this is something that will give entire information about you. The one page that describes everything that you have done in your college, like most significant things that you have done in your college that makes you stand out from others. So this page is something that is very important, and in which part of the recruitment process this resume comes and plays a picture. So the first and the most important thing is, whenever you apply for a job on campus or off campus, the first thing that they look forward to is your resume. You are shortlisted on the basis of your resume. Whether you will be getting the test link or whether you will be invited for an interview, it totally depends upon your resume. If they find you capable, if you find that truly this person has done something and he is different from the crowd, so then only you can expect that you will be getting the test link or you'll be shortlisted for further rounds. So this one page of resume is very significant when we talk about the first shortlisting thing. After that, you're shortlisted. Then also this resume has to play a part when you're appearing for interviews, because your panelists will be having your resume in front of them and they'll see that this particular guy is different from others because of this and this reason. So these reasons are something that we are going to discuss, and how you can present yourself better, how you can make yourself look better, similar to that analogy of 200 per kg one apples. So how you can make yourself stand out. So we'll be discussing about that entire thing in this video. So let's talk about what are certain important things in a resume, what are the main components of the resume. So there are 5 major components when we talk about resume. The first one is the educational qualifications that you have. The next is the skills that you have gained or that you are want to showcase, that you have certain experience in and you're confident most about. The next thing that a resume should have is your projects. If you've worked upon certain software projects, if you they might be personal projects, or you might have worked with a group of friends, or you might have done something in hackathon. So the third thing is your projects. The fourth thing when we talk about a resume is your work experience. If you have either worked in a team, in an internship, or if you have worked at a startup or something, that thing matters the most. And the last thing when we talk about resume is your achievements. Achievements are basically something that is not in everybody's resume. What is most significant you have done. This is your achievement. So we'll discuss about all these 5 things, like what can you include in these 5 things, and how you should write particularly these 5 things in your resume that can like limit the space, and that can also like make it look better and make it worthwhile. At the end of this video, I have certain major important points, that things that you should keep in mind while framing a resume. That will be something that you should keep in mind, because nowadays resumes are being shortlisted by bots and parsers. First of all, like it is not a human looking at your resume, because the number of applicants for a particular job are more than 5,000, 10,000. So there are certain bots and keyword researchers, like they look forward to your resume, and your resume should be bot and parser friendly with respect to particular job. So these all things we'll be discussing today, and how you can make out most in making this resume. This is something, it's a major topic. So let's discuss about the structure of the resume. The first and the most important thing, that like at the top of your resume, it should contain your name, your email ID, your contact number, and if you want to add the links to your LinkedIn and GitHub profile, that would be super fine. The objective, like I have seen people writing objective in their resume, so that is optional. If you want to write, you can. If you don't, you can skip. The next important thing that you should not write in your resume when we talk about the top front line in your resume is, like you should avoid writing your marital status, you should avoid writing your address or family background. So that is not going to make any significant difference to your resume when you talk about the major important details. So these are some of the details that are most sufficient, most necessary, and like that will not bias you with respect to the recruiter's point of view, right? And the photograph is also not necessary, because that will make a certain bias in the mind of recruiter. So avoid attaching a photograph with your resume. So something that is most important about your resume is that it should be clean and crisp. From the word clean and crisp, what I mean to say is it should look like, it should be exactly clear to the recruiter in a single site, because they don't have much time. Just your resume will be reviewed for around 2 seconds, 5 seconds, that's all. So the first thing is your educational qualifications. You can create a table and you can mention your educational qualifications from top to down. Like if you're pursuing a BTech degree, so that is BTech along with your college name and your CGPA that you have got. Then your class 12th percentage and marks, then your class 10th. So these are the major things that you have achieved in your life as per your educational qualifications are concerned. So this is basically the education qualification. Better would be you can include it in a table, or else you can just write it as far as you want, right? But these are the important details that you should write. The next thing that it comes is your skills. So skills is something that is the most important, and from each and every aspect, like your entire interview, everything will be based upon that skills. And first of all, before writing skills, look towards the JD, like job description of that particular internship or a job that you're looking forward to, and see if you have those particular skills. Try to write those skills in your skills part. Else, for software engineering roles, like you know a particular object-oriented language like C++, Java, or you know Python, or like you have certain skills like your data structures algorithms, or like certain skills, like maybe some skills are relevant to you, like you have been doing Django or Node.js, or like you have been good at machine learning or deep learning. So that is something that is particular to your profile, and you can mention those skills that you are significantly confident about, and those are in matching with the job description. So this is basically the skills part. The next thing that comes into picture is your projects. So how you can write those projects, like which all projects you should write. Focus on the quality of your projects, not the quantity of the project. It is not like you write 5-6 projects and that will make a significant difference. But try to write those projects, like some projects, for example, it has taken around 2 months or 3 months to get completed. So that project will gain something, like it is much significant than other projects, right? So you can write that project at the top. And when you're writing about that particular project, so your project name, and then you should describe that project briefly, like what was the, like don't write essays, don't write paragraphs. It should be completely data driven and clean and clear, as I've already mentioned. So from data driven, what I mean to say is like what you have particularly achieved and what is the impact of your project, like whether it is solving any particular purpose or whether it is just a normal project. So you should write, like for example, your particular project has helped this many people or has impacted the lives of these many people. For example, you have published an Android application. So what was the reach? What was the impact created? That is something that the recruiter is looking forward to. The next thing that comes to, like, you can highlight some of the important points, some of the data. For example, you can quote the number, like that can be highlighted while writing the projects, and it is preferable if you write 2 to 3 projects. That would be sufficient, but don't exceed the number. And the projects you are most confident about, that you have done yourself, those are most significant. And try to put those projects on GitHub and then only showcase them to your recruiter. This was something when you talk about projects. The next important section when it comes to the resume is your work experience. Like for internships, like there is hardly any work experience, like it is similar for all, but even if you have done any particular internship in a startup, or some people generally might have done internships while pursuing their courses, or while maybe it's in a virtual format or an online format. So if it is significant, like if you have achieved certain goals, like if you think you are confident to explain, like you have done certain project, like do mention that, and along with the name of the organization that you have worked with. And some things that are most important is, for example, you have achieved certain percentage of, like you have improved the efficiency of that project by 15%, or you have so these are some of the things that you should write when you're describing that project, or when you're describing that particular work experience. So write that I have done this and this has improved the efficiency of this program by this %, and this has impacted the lives of these many people. So, or like if it is something that is saving upon the cost, you can write upon, like earlier it was costing up to this much, and I have helped make it more cost effective. And by how much that cost effective is, it's cost effective. So these are some of the things that you should keep in mind while writing your work experience, writing your projects, and try to highlight or bold some of the things that you think are most important, like some numbers or the name of certain organizations that have been a part of that. So this is something that is important with respect to the work experience. The next thing that comes into picture for resume is your achievements. So what to write in those achievements? Basically, you are applying for a technical job, and they're looking forward to a candidate who is good at his technical skills. So you have mentioned everything about your skills, your projects, your work experience. So what should be there in your achievements? For example, you have solved 50 questions, 100 questions, 200 questions, 300 questions on GFG, on Lead Code, on certain other platforms. Like you have a very good rating on CodeShift, Code Forces. So these are some of the things that make you stand out. Like everybody is not a 4-star, 5-star coder on CodeShift. Everybody is not a candidate master. Everybody is not a specialist at Code Forces. So if you have achieved those things, like you have really done the work, so that is something that you should include in your achievement section. Apart from that, what else you can include in your achievements? For example, you have been a part of certain hackathon. You can mention that. You can mention about your like if you have significantly won any hackathon, if you have been involved in any other technical event, that you can mention in that resume, but won't be of much significance when we talk about organizing, or when we talk about being a part of certain clubs or societies. That do shows that you have certain leadership skills, certain, like you can include 1 or 2 points, but don't exaggerate. So now coming upon to some of the important points with respect to your resume, like what is something that you should keep in mind. So the first and the most important thing is your keyword research, because nowadays the resumes are being shortlisted by boards, by parsers. So that automatic resume shortlisting is done. So for that, what you need to do is you need to research about the job description completely. You need to find out certain words from that job description, like the skills that they're requiring. For example, they need a Java developer. For example, they need a Python or a Django developer. So focus upon those skills and try to mention those skills in your resume, and make sure that you're writing it in the right syntax. For example, you're writing Node.js, or you're writing AngularJS, you're writing React.js. So spacing between JS and React, that also matters, because we're talking about boards and parsers, right? So try to focus upon the JD, try to take out certain skills out of that, and whichsoever are matching with you. So write those skills in your resume, and this is the first point, that is the keyword research. The second important thing when we talk about resume is that your resume should be a single page resume. Don't try to exaggerate. Like, you might be thinking that you have a lot of things to write in your resume to present it better, but you can make it simple, you can make it precise, that covers the most important, something that is your selling point, right? So it should not exceed that one page, because people don't have time to see your resume for more than 5 seconds, because they have a lot of resumes to see. So don't make your resume more than one page. Also, when you're submitting a resume online, make sure that you name that resume according to your name. Don't make it like some XYZ or so. Make it your name / your college name, or maybe your something else. But don't just its name should not be anything random. Like, for example, you're sending it through WhatsApp, so its name automatically changes. So make sure that the file that you are sending is in a PDF format, and it should have a correct name. Like, it should be your name. That would be perfect. The next important thing is that your resume should not be generic. It should be company specific. Like, create 2-3 templates of your resume with different modifications, a bit of slight modifications, and change your resume every time you are applying for a particular company by seeing the skills and criteria that the company is looking forward to. Don't just keep one single resume and keep on forwarding to everywhere that you have. Make your resume according to that company, and it should be skill specific, company specific, and it should not be generic. So this is the third point. The fourth point is, like, don't fake yourself. Like, the person who is sitting in front of you has experience of around maybe 10 years, 5 years, but he has also passed through the same stage. So don't try to fake yourself. The things you haven't done, don't write that, because at some point of time he'll catch you that if you are suitable candidate, or if you have written that is true or not. So try to include only those things, mostly those things that you know. And for example, if you're putting a certain project from GitHub repository and like you're not aware of what that project is all about, make sure that you have researched about this project well, and you can tell each and everything about the project, but that is not much advisable. But in case of an emergency, that you can do. The fifth point that I'm going to tell you about is your certifications. They are not of much significance when we talk about you're going to a particular company. What they're looking forward to is your skills, your project. So try, like, if there's nothing to write, then you can write certain certifications that you have got, but that won't be of much significance with respect to that particular company and job description. So this was all about today's video about resume. Like, if you have more doubts on your resume, like if your resume is not getting shortlisted for companies, try focusing upon these certain points and make your resume better. Like maybe in future we can have a live session where we'll review certain resumes and we can get to know like you can ask certain doubts. So we can do that in future, but for now, just go ahead and change your resume according to what you feel like, and do let me know in the comment section like what all other difficulties that you are facing. We'll come up with other videos as well. Thank you so much for all the love that you are showing, and like I am very happy that like I'm getting a lot of messages from you all. Like, some of you are getting jobs, some of you are getting internships. So that is something that is motivating me. So do like, share, subscribe, and like share it with your friends. Thank you so much. Good luck. Bye bye.